Martin, and I am here on behalf of West End Wilma at the Connaught Hotel in Mayfair, London, to chat with Natasha Barnes on the launch of her brand new album, Real. Let's go have a listen.
But I'm no supermodel. I don't look like them.
It feels pretty surreal. Yeah, it feels really surreal. I can't believe it's ready because we spent such a long time kind of getting it right. I'm really excited about it because it's a new sort of side of me that I'm sort of looking forward to sharing with people, really. I finished my recording vocally just before I went on the Funny Girl tour, which is really important for us because obviously I'm singing a lot of musical theatre on tour, so we had to sort of make sure that my voice was not in that place for the album because it's not necessarily musical theatre, it's a bit of a crossover of genres. So we then took a long time to get the mix right, and all the instruments were recorded like live, and it's all really sort of authentic, so it's taken a long time to get it right. I mean, there's only really one musical theatre song on the album, and it's People. And the big challenge with that was finding a way of delivering it which didn't really resonate with the show. It was the meaning of the song and the lyrics that I love, and something from a show that gave me a huge lifeline in terms of my career. But we did a sort of Burt Bacharach version, and I cannot wait, because I still don't think I could sing it live. I think it's so intimate and it's so stripped back that it's really quite, it's like a secret thing, I guess. It's like listening to somebody tell you a secret, and that was the huge challenge, going, how do I sing this song that I've sung over 300 times? So that was really fun, and then a lot of it was just finding different things in my voice that I didn't know I had. And yeah, I feel like I've sort of found a new sound, which is really cool. Something that I didn't know I could do. So yeah, it's been good. It totally wasn't a conscious decision. It wasn't something I was looking for. It was a bit fate-like, really. Somebody happened to be in the audience, a scout from Sony, happened to be in the audience one night as I was filling in for the lead in Funny Girl, and they approached me and said, do you want to come in for a chat? And when I was talking about sort of who inspires me as an artist and having a sing-through things, it became apparent that we didn't have to do my first album, didn't have to be a lot of musical theatre songs, it could be something quite new. And then potentially there's room for a musical theatre album in the future. So it's just something I've literally sort of gone with, which is pretty apparent with most of my life. I think I just sort of get hit with things and go, okay, let's go with that for a bit. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens, but I'm kind of not putting too much pressure on it. I love it, and I'm so proud of it that I just want to see where it takes me. It's exposing and liberating, creating your own album and finding out what your voice is. I don't think I've ever sung as Natasha Barnes before. And I think actually when I listen to it, I feel fragile listening to it, and I feel kind of stripped back, and I feel quite naked in terms of like my sound and what I'm producing. And tonight was incredible because I got to sing songs that were mine in front of people and that nobody had ever heard before. It was only me, and that's so rare. And it's part of what I love about musical theatre is that you can take something and make it fresh. And we have such incredible fans in musical theatre who love it when something happens that's different. They love it when a show where there's a song that's sung with a little different riff or something, and I love that. But there's something really special about the opportunity to sing something that's never been sung before. So it was very stripping, but it was pretty exciting at the same time. It wasn't actually what I'd envisaged in my head, the recording of the album. I became really good friends with my producer, and we did a lot of it in his studio at home. And he had a blind border collie called Bracken, who used to sit at my feet when I sang. And it was more about like kind of closeting yourself away inside a memory or inside something that sort of resonated with me when I sang the song. So it was like you get into like almost this weird meditative state, and it's like unlike anything I've ever done before. And if a thought's working for you, then you end up doing take after take after take, and then you lose it and you have to go and have a cup of tea so that you can sort of refresh and give a new thought, and then do another take on the song, because the microphone picks up everything, every tiny little feeling and thought and emotion emotion, you can hear it. So it was like a completely different zone. It's definitely a zone, but it's not the sort of I'm about to do a show zone. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I chose them without really realising that I was choosing them. We just sat and, you know how you sit on the floor listening to records and listening to things on YouTube and you discover new songs? That's basically the way I chose my album, was going, oh my God, this song's amazing and this singer is incredible and I want to hear what she sang and I like that third song. Do you want to do it on the album? Yeah, okay. Before you know it, that's how you got your whole album, because you listen to different demos of new things and you kind of go, I love her stuff, what else has she written? Or you listen to old Northern Soul hits that were like taken off of, it's like a live vinyl, and you listen to them and you go, oh, that's got something, I can tell that story, I think, and you give it a go, and then before you know it, that's on the album. And so it is really like an eclectic mix, but it is so honest. All of it says, all the tracks say something. I think they've all got a story. So.
Right. That was
Yeah, part of me wants to say that the album sort of grows up as we go through, and it's a little bit about going from a girl to a woman, in my eyes. But what I love about it is that I've shared it with my very, very, very closest friends and family, and that's it. And I've done that on purpose. And nobody else has copies of these tracks other than myself and the people that are putting the album together. But people have come out with, this reminds me of this time when I was at school, and I've gone, really? And been really surprised that that's what that song makes them think of. So it's kind of, it's a very human album. It's about human emotions. It's about being flawed and being free to be who you are, really, and not fitting in a mould. So it's definitely very personal to me. I think for me, every song is a performance. That's what works best for my voice and for myself. And I feel the best about that when I produce something and it's not tampered with, because I like a little crack in the voice and I like a little bit of a lift on something. And to me, that makes it human. To me, it makes it feel like somebody is in your living room singing to you and you're listening. And that's just what I wanted for this album. That was the feeling that I went with. And who knows what will happen in the future and what I can play around with, because the technology today is fantastic. But I'm very lucky. I have a voice that I'm quite proud of. And I just thought I'm going to share it warts and all, rather than share it as something that isn't actually me. So that's, yeah.
awesome.
I feel like I'm very early on with my pregnancy. I wasn't pregnant when I recorded the album, but I've done a couple of live gigs since, and all I can say that at the moment I'm at the beginning of feeling very, very empowered. I feel like I can kind of do anything. Because you're doing this thing where you're creating a baby. And I think it's the same as having a really exciting project on the go that you can't quite talk about and you don't know how it's going to fit. But it is like that. It's a really, really exciting project, and it's an opportunity, and I'm so excited. But all that is, yeah, that's what's coming across at the moment. I think in the way that I speak to people, I don't feel like I have to apologise for myself, because I'm already needed by something. And that's a really nice feeling, especially for an actress where there's so many of us and so few jobs. You know, to be unconditionally needed by somebody is a real blessing.
You can give 3 if you want, but I want to
Cassie in chorus line, because I cannot move to save my life. But like every time I hear it, I just imagine myself doing hitch kicks, and I can't. I can get to about there, especially now I'm pregnant. So yeah, Cassie in chorus line. And I'm going to go to bed tonight and have so many of these, and I'm going to have to text them to you. Jean Valjean, that's always said, isn't it? Yeah, I like that one. I don't know what else. I think I just like to be miscast as Cillian Donnelly. Just as in everything that he's ever done. I think I just like his career. Is that allowed?
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of better than, can I be Cillian Donnelly?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, that's the best answer.
That's